Hello guys. So let's hold on for a minute. Okay. So meanwhile, everyone. So yesterday we didn't get your WhatsApp numbers or whatever it may be. So can you please give your name, your WhatsApp number, and your email ID? Okay, these three things. So one by one, can you please give all your details at a short? Sunil, can you give your details, please? Guys, whoever joined, can you please give your details, please, once? Okay, your name, your WhatsApp mobile, your WhatsApp number, and your email ID and your location. Sudhakar, can you please give your details, please? So, yesterday we discussed why robotic automation and what are the various things which involve and why the Pega robotics is a advantage. So we have discussed all these things. So today we are discussing something interesting, some interesting things related to this robotic process automation. Okay, forget about whatever robotic automation it is. Okay, so whatever it is, so whatever tool you use, so there are something which you need to deliver in terms of the robotic automation process project. Okay, so if you have a process, so which where you want to implement the robotic process automation, so there are some prerequisites to be eligible for that robotic process automation, and after that prerequisites, so there is a structured approach. Like you deliver any of the ordinary project, it also is having its project delivery approach. Okay, guys, whoever joins new, right? So you just give me the details. Okay, so and continue in the discussion. Okay, so how we will do a discovery phase? Uh,
Sunil, this is Lakshmar Day. Are you going to record the session, right?
yeah. We will record this session. So even if you give the details yesterday, also please give me today as well, and so that so yesterday we didn't get entire details.
Yeah,
Okay,
we are
so
giving the
please,
details.
yeah, sure, yeah. So the sessions are being recorded for sure. Okay. Okay, so this is a first before getting into the technology, before getting into the tool. So we will first understand how we will deliver the robotic process automation projects. So then you will be able to understand at which point of the or at which process step that you are leading this technology. Okay, so when your project delivery is happening, so at which point or at which step the real implementation will happen. Okay, we are going to understand the real implementation related to this Pega robotics. So how we will be implementing this Pega robotics, and where we deliver our code, and after delivering the code what will happen, and all these things will be there, right? So these things, so before that we will discuss our robotic process automation project delivery approach. Okay, so how it will be. So first one is the discovery phase. First, whether the process is fit for robotic automation or not, so first we have to identify, and how complex the project is we have to identify. So these are the things that we need to identify before we move on further to implement this robotic process automation on any process. So we implement automation on any process for sure. Okay, so when we are implementing, we have to make sure this is a right case for RPA or not. Okay, we have to make sure that. So here the objective is the first we will work collaboratively with the client. First we will collaborate with the client, and the program will be aiming at the, so what is the process and overall discovery approach. So we will be giving the discovery approach. So first thing is the first we will work with the client, so to understand the process. Okay, so we define which process. Say for example, here I am taking it as a target express claims process. Okay, and who are doing, how many manual users doing, and at which places, at which client locations they are doing. Okay, so and we will identify the discovery of that process. So how this process will fit for RP or not. Okay, so if you observe here, so yeah, RPA project follows this methodology. So whatever you are seeing, first we will discover. Okay, discovery is the first and foremost step. Once discovery is done and we identify that this is a RPA opportunity, then we will go to the next phase, solution and design. So once the solution and design is ready, we will go to the rest of the phases, build and test, and everything will be like a normal project. First, in build and test phase, and after that we'll go to the UAT and we'll go to the go live and we'll go to the run. Okay. So here, so objective. So first we will study, understand what is the scope of the business process and what is in previous slide how we identify that these are the things. So we are going to achieve by doing the discovery phase. Okay, these are the objectives of a discovery phase. First, we will identify the business, what is in scope and what is the process landscape, and we will get the details, and we will arrive at a estimation. Okay, estimation in the sense, estimation here it's not like a estimation how much time it will take to implement. So we will arrive at how complex this process is and what are the business benefits after implementing this. Okay, so what are the so after discovery phase, the output will be the, so we will be having RPA opportunity assessment, and if it is suitable to RPA implementation, then we will have the RPA implementation, and we will draw the high level business case. Okay, and who will be part of this? So here RPA program delivery team in the sense, so you will have a architect, you will have a BA. Okay, so discovery, so once you gain some more experience into this RPA, so you will also be part of this discovery phase. Okay, so next, so we will need to design the solution. So after assessing the process, so we need to identify the what kind of the, so where so how much automation is there already, and what kind of the percentage automation that we are going to inject in the solution, and we will give you the detailed technical design. So from A to G, so what is this process steps and what is this technical design, so where the robot will start, so what is the criteria and what is the validations that we will put, and how we will do the exception handling, so how we will do the failure handling. So all these things we will do in the solution design. So in the solution design, the outcomes will be the process design and solution design. Process design document. So process design document is the one of the very important document where from the inputs of the discovery phase and from the inputs of the solution design. So first we will design the process design document. Once the process design is signed off, so we will again create a technical design document or solution design document. Okay, so once we have the process design and solution design, then we will use the those two documents to create our business use cases. Okay, and test cases. So all unit test cases we will plan, and after that we will get a document called implementation plan. Okay, whoever is responsible, so the architect, RPA architect, and ops team, so to consult with them to get the details and all. So these teams are responsible. Okay, and in during the solution design phase, so there are some use cases where you need to implement some of the rules. Okay, so if you feel that this is a technically complexity, so you start implementing this phase. Okay, so RPA developers also will be part of the solution design phase. Okay, so rest, build, UAT, and go live and run. So change management, rest of all are common. Okay, rest of all are common like any other project delivery. So I assume that you are having experience in implementing this SDLC or so implementing in rest of the projects. Okay, so and so now you are trying to. So the difference lies in discovery and solution phase. Okay, so discovery phase itself will get you the, so whether this is a suitable RPA opportunity or not, and even sometimes, so we will reject the this is as a RPA process in solution design phase also. If some of the components, if you are unable to identify that as a fit for RPA, you can implement using the RPA in such situations also. Okay, so discovery and solution design are the two most important phases, and after that change management also. So how you do the change management? Okay, how so after implementation and after running, so how you do the change management. So right now there are 5 to 10 people who are working on that process. Okay, and so you want to move those people to the some other different process. Okay, because this process does not need people now because the automation is already implemented. Okay, and upskilling, so upskilling of the some of the SMEs to the level, so where this production support users or whoever is there to that level. Okay, so that they will be having the knowledge of the process, and they will be having the so this technical idea, and we will redefine the roles, we will do the knowledge transfer. So whatever the production support team doing during the warranty period, the same will be the roles will be assigned to the people who are already working on that process and who are experts like SMEs in that process. Okay, this is how the change management. So discovery, solution, and change management, implementation, support, and run. All these are the common for any of the projects. But the only difference lies for any of the RPA projects is the discovery phase and solution phase and change management phase. Okay. So you have any questions in this? So what we are going to learn will be the build and test phase. Okay, so how we will create automation, how we will create a project, how we will create a solution, how we will integrate our business requirements. Okay, which applications, so Windows applications, web applications, mainframe applications, and how we will interact with the Pega PRPC, and how we will do the robot manager, how we will implement RPA using Pega applications, RDA using Pega applications. So all these things, so we will so what we are going to discuss in our sessions, maybe from tomorrow or day after tomorrow, will be the core technical stuff. Okay, core technical stuff. So during discovery phase, so whatever the things, the town hall, kickoffs, workshops, process assessment, okay, and synergies, so we will draw the synergies and follow up the process assessment and review the findings and sign off. So these 5 are the steps for so who do this. So this is the part of, except the highlighted one, so rest of all part of client and the company which is implementing this automation. Okay, so the client, the end client, and the organization, service organization. Okay, but drawing the synergies across the process is responsibility of the so service company, because implementing the POCs are already getting these type of the controls which we are already implemented. So all this information will be the responsibility of the service company. So rest of all, so identifying the process, getting the knowledge of the process, and assessing that process. So both the client and service company will be the stakeholders. So here, so the basic guidelines for automation opportunity assessment. So in this, so first thing is the who supplies input. Okay, so whether that structured input or not, and whether that can be accessible through robots or systems. Okay, so who is the supplier? Who is the supplier of the input? Supplier, a process will start at a place. Okay, it will flow across the applications and it will end at a place. Okay, so this is called who supplies which application. Here supplier in the sense, it is not a person, it is an application, which application it supplies. So here input, so who supplies, so whether that supplier supplies the defined input, or whether that is a structured input, or whether those applications are accessible through robots or systems. Okay, these are the things. And after suppliers, so that is the input we need to work on. So format, types of the work, and whether that work is structured or not. So that is accessible through robots or systems. Supplier supplies the input, and that input we need to check on the formats and all these things. Okay, So when it is coming to that process, okay, so number of the business flows that it is having, and how many validations and verifications. Okay, so how many validations and verifications this current process is having, as is process. So as is process in the sense, the current manual process, what we are doing, we are doing the whether that is a suitable opportunity for automation or not. Okay, when we are doing the suitable opportunity for the automation or not, so we need to identify the current as is process and what are the things. Okay, so in the process, these are the very very important things that you need to know. Okay, during your certification exam also, so whatever we are discussing today, there will be some marks related to the around 18 percentage weightage to the project management. 18% or 9%, I'm not sure. So there is weightage to the project management. You will get 10 questions from the project management. Okay, 18 percentage weightage to the project management, there will be 10 questions. Okay, so in that aspect, I have prepared this presentation, so with my experience in delivering the automation projects. Okay, so in this, so number of the business flows and validations and verifications. So each and every validation and verification is very very important when you are assessing a automation opportunity. And if you have any nested validations, okay, so all these things are useful for us in two ways. One is the for achieving the complexity and for identifying whether this is the suitable for automation opportunity or not. Okay, so number of the business flows and validations and verifications. And if you have any nested validations, so nested validations are a bit complex. So this complexity of this nested validation, and how many repetitive and rule based. Okay, so how many are rule based, and how many require human judgment, how many does not require human judgment. Okay, number of the applications, how many applications are there, is there of the remote desktop or Citrix technology is there for accessing the applications, and number of the FTEs. Okay, so FTE means full-time employees who is working on that process dedicatedly. Okay, manual users. AHT, average handling time, and geographic speed, each geographic how much speed these applications or these processing the transactions. Okay, so these logical processes, so how many logical processes are there, and so what happens if there is some exception. Say for example, you expected some data but that data is not coming, so how to route those transactions, and what are the upstreams and what are the downstreams for this process, and what is the supplier customer of this process. Okay, so who supplies the input and who expects the output of this. Okay, so here, so from the input to the output. Okay, so all this information that we need to capture during our opportunity assessment. Okay, so this is how first you need to identify the process. For identifying the process, so whatever I have mentioned, these are the very very important steps. Okay, very very important things. So based on this only, your process design or your solution design or everything will be your complexity assessment, and you need to give the automation implementation plan. So everything depends on this assessment. Okay, so the start point is always important. Okay, where major decisions are made whether this is suitable for automation or not. So if it is suitable for automation, then this cost of implementing the automations, to arrive at the cost of implementing this automation, okay, we need to have the defined start point and defined inputs. Okay, so during the discovery, so we use couple of the documents. So one is that, just a minute. So we will be having a template for this discovery data collection, and this is the template. Okay, so these are the common, which business line, which sub business line, and what is the category and location where. So we will identify these details related to this. Where is this service organization? Where is this client organization? And so where are these FTEs? Okay, so here from here, so currently how much automation is there and what are the operating hours? Okay, so when the shift starts, when the shift ends, and all these details are very important. What is the average handling time and what is the target SLA? Okay, say might be average handling time might be 2 minutes, target SLA might be 5 minutes, or average handling time is 5 minutes and target SLA is 5 minutes. If some transaction fails, they will not able to meet the target SLA. And process volume, okay, the number of the volumes a process will be having. Okay, so these volumes, whether these volumes are during the normal hours or during the seasonal things, or is there any peak time where you can get the number of the transactions. This is very important for us to scale the robots. Okay, so if a robot can serve, that is fine, but if the transactions are more, so instead of a one robot, 2 to 3 robots, or any number of the robots, okay, n number of the robots, we need to scale it, depends on the volumes of the process. Okay, so these things so are very important. So what kind of the volumes it will be, and at what times I need to invoke 2 more robots, or at what time I need to invoke 3 more robots, so scaling up these robots. Okay, so these things we will get based on this process volumes. So unit of the measure of the volumes. So here it is mentioned 1000, it will be thousands. Okay, so how it is mentioned, so these volumes we need to bear, and the complexity, and if there are any specific comments related to the complexity of the process, and how many number of the system. Okay, how many number of the system is in the sense how many number of the applications, and names of the systems. And after that, so each system related description. So what kind of the system and how you will access and what technology the system is based on, and if you have any other information related to the systems, these things. System availability, if there is any scheduled maintenance every day, every week, or every month, so those information also. So when those systems went under scheduled maintenance, so what robots will do? So robots are dependent on the systems. Okay, so if the system is available, then only robot is able to access and get the data, or robot is able to do the process and do the transactions. So during the system availability only, the robots has to be up and running. So when system is unavailable, so that we have to set the robots also to be in pause mode or rest mode. So for that purpose, we need to have this system availability information. Don't think this is for Pega Robotics. This is for any RPA project. So whatever tool it is, okay, whatever tool it is. And high level upstream, downstream applications, and say before this process, some process has to happen, or maybe say for example, when you are processing the credit card transactions, so when it is being processed, the transaction has to happen, right? So in the some other system, the transaction has to happen, and that will be the trigger point for this robot to invoke on a particular transaction. Okay, that information also we need to give. And downstream, so after this process, what will happen? Okay, so where we need to update, our which system we need to trigger, our robot will trigger, or a manual user will trigger. So those information that we need to capture it. So if those projects, say for example, those projects in BAU implementation, so what can be the expected impact? So if you those applications, the target applications, if they are modified, okay, that information also we need to capture. If there is any seasonality, and if there is any spike in the percentage of transactions, so going forward in the future or every year, if there is any spike in the transactions process percentage, so accordingly we have to scale the robots. So that is the reason. and if there is any change in the geography wise as is process. So if there is any change accordingly based on the geography or the same robot, but the logic will be changing inside. Okay, so if it is this region, go to this. If it is this region, go to this, like that. So how many exceptions will come? So what kind of the, say for example, if they are doing 100 transactions every day, so how many exceptions there are chances of the come? And if having any regulatory related stuff, so we have any regulatory compliance on this process. Say for example, it has to be completed in 3 days. So this is a regulatory compliance. So do you have any such like that? So how much this process is digital, how much this process is voice, and how much this process is based on the paper. Say for example, sometimes you need to print the customer account letters and you need to send it back. So that is a paper. So we cannot replace with the robotic automation this paper handling process. Okay, and this voice handling we need to implement in a different manner. So the complexity when we are implementing the voice related, so it will increase. And next is the recommendations. So is there any advice or recommendations that we need to add to this? And number of the process steps. So this is quite common. So how many steps it is there, and how many applications, and total number of the screens, how many screens we are having, number of the fields, number of the flows, number of the queues. This is common. And any OCR. OCR means optical character reading. Optical character reading in the sense of the scanned documents or PDF documents or handwritten character reading documents. So is there any of such thing we need to implement in our automation solution? Okay, that is also important. So, and next one is the applications having security restrictions. So do you have any security restrictions? So how you need to access the applications? Say with username and password it is fine, or do we need to handle with the help of the other servers, or we need to handle with the help of any certificate is needed to install, so to access it? And the applications are having any CAPTCHA. So when we are logging into the some of the applications, it will ask for the CAPTCHA. But even we can implement the robotic automation for CAPTCHA as well. Okay, there are so many libraries nowadays to crack through this CAPTCHA. So do we have any heavy Excel processing? And if we have any heavy Excel processing, that will be, so we will be able to identify. So is there any alternative approach for this Excel process configured as a database, or so that information also we will be able to, and this will be useful for our solution design. This is also one of the important. So types of the browsers. So how many types of the browsers we are having? So Pega Robotics supports only IE, Firefox, and Google Chrome. Okay, most of the robotic automation tool supports these three only. Okay, after that, total number of the input formats. How many input formats are there, and do we need to process the same way, or all the input formats, or do we need to process in a different way? So that information we need to capture it. Output formats as well. The number of the decision points. Okay, so do you have any business rules? Say for example, this happens, then only this transaction has to be processed. Otherwise, this transaction has to be halted. So do we have any such things? So we have to identify how many number of those kind of the things, and how many types of the business rules you are having, and how many licenses. So for example, based on the system availability and average handling time and SLA, so how many licenses you require? Say for example, 100 transactions need to be processed. So these 100 transactions can be processed, cannot be processed by only one robot. So we need to have 2 to 3 robots, depends on the time. So then how many number of the licenses that we need to purchase? So this is also part for calculating the cost of total implementation. Okay, CTO. Okay, so we have to propose that how much savings that this process is going to do. So after implementing the automation, so we need to have that the cost of the total implementation. So do we have any integration components? So do we need to say, for example, this tool is not having all the required things. So do we need to create a separate custom DLLs and we need to integrate it? So all these points that we need to highlight here. And finally, if you have any final remarks or components, okay, this thing that we need to identify. So the next one is the high level assessment report. So we will give the high level assessment report. Just a minute, guys. So it is just opening. So we will give you the high level presentation. So what kind of the process it is and how we will implement it. So that kind of the presentation we will give. Okay. So it is just opening. Okay. This will be the this will be the so high level RPA assessment presentation. This kind of the presentation we will give. So what kind of the process overview it is. Okay. So to give you the high level, so receive the application request in application related to the particular queues, and so we will review it and we will identify the input related, and after that we will complete the document. So this is a high level template. So this is a template. So this is not an exact document. This is a kind of the template. Okay. And so what is the as is process and what is the automated process? So where we will start and what will happen, and after that what will be doing. And some things will be the partially automated and something will be the fully automated. So where these partially automated cases, say for example you have the paper handling. So after account is opening, so then you need to send the account related documents which are generated manually. So then that is a partially automated. And like that one more case will be the, so if the call handling is there, so this call handling will be done manually. Even we can implement it with the help of the automation. Say for example in this kind of the scenarios where client business says, okay, this has to happen manually. Okay, this is how it is. And after that, so the prerequisite questionnaire. So this is one more questionnaire which is generic questionnaire. Okay, so we will have the process name, description, percentage of the process, which is at onshore, offshore, and FTEs. So this is one more questionnaire. So high level questionnaire it is, which will have the information. So the other one is the detailed questionnaire. So this is just a high level questionnaire. Okay, so I will share these documents to you as well. This is a which will be having the same information, but each process we will have this high level questionnaire. Okay, so when we are doing the solution design and process design document, so we will have these things handy. So these are the documents that we will use, either templates or documents that we will use. these are the prerequisites. So before conducting the workshops, say if we are conducting the workshops, so these are the prerequisites. So from client side there are some prerequisites, and from service organization there are some prerequisites. Okay, so client side, this is the documentation of the workshop scope, and so we need to have the high level resources who are having that knowledge and say for related to that process. And the logistics, obviously the common, and the service organization, so it has to define the scope, and it has to project its assets and templates, and it has to expose its RP and workshop expertise. And after that, for logistics related, for conducting the workshops. Okay, logistics are always common. Okay, so next one is the workshop outcomes. So which is the very, very important for us. Okay, how we will list the processes to be automated, and what kind of the benefit we are getting, and high level RPA solutions for these processes, and percentage of estimated automation projects. Okay, so these are how many number of the automated projects, and whether these are the complex or low or medium or high. So for each process we'll define whether this is a complex project or high level high complex or low complex or medium complex or very high complex. Okay, so client will give you the SMEs or process knowledge resources, and the service organization will be giving you the workshops or facilitator related requirements, and workshop PMO, project management office, client will give, and service organization side, the RP implementation program manager or project manager, architect, these will be the part of it. And so, and we will have the assessment report out stakeholders. Okay, so after assessment, so this will be presented to the stakeholders, and who is responsible from the service organization point of view, the program manager will be the responsible. These kind of the roles will be there. So for the success of the design phase or delivery discovery approach phase, it will be the first we have to identify the right stakeholders. Okay, and we need to have the detailed process maps, detailed SOPs. SOPs means standard operating procedures which this process is happening, and process related data. And the logistics arrangements are always common, say WebEx meetings, or if the meetings are not in right place, logistics, the workshops or meetings will not happen. Okay, and so we need to have the automated identification and diagnostic related information, and timely completion of the workshops for validations. Okay, this is how we will deliver the any of the RPF project. Okay, so the starting point which is the application discovery phase. Okay, so whether this is the suitable or not, so the discovery phase will have the lot of time. Okay, so a lot of the time in the sense, so you have to spend 1 week or 2 weeks. So you have to identify and you have to get it a right process design document, right solution design document. So when this right process and solution design documents will be the outcomes. So when you assess the process in a right manner, and the SMEs explains you the process and shows you the process in a right manner in each and every case. Okay, if some other inefficient SME, say for example, who does not have complete knowledge related to the process, if he explains, he misses 10 out of the 10 cases, he misses 5 cases. Then we implement the 5 cases, and the rest of the 5 cases will not be there. So what is the purpose of implementing this automation? So if the most of the transactions are from those 5 cases. Okay, so that is how we have to plan accordingly to get a right solution and right process design documents. So those are the key success factors for any of the RPA delivery projects. Okay, so I'll give you a pause here for today, and tomorrow we will discuss detail related to the architecture of this Pega Robotics. Okay, so how this Pega Robotics has been created, and how we have to use this Pega Robotics. Okay, and maybe day after tomorrow I'll start giving or sending you the software related links. Okay, where you can download and install all these things, and the installation procedure we will be discussing. So and we will be kickstarting our practical session or studios and all, maybe from Friday or next Monday. So we will be having the sessions Monday to Friday, and if required, so we need to have a very lengthy session, 2-3 hour session. So we will take it. So if everyone is available only, then we will take it on the Saturday and Sundays. Okay. So you have any questions for today? Okay, if you don't have anything, so I am ending the meeting for today. Okay, so I assume everyone has shared the details. So I need WhatsApp numbers as well. Okay, so that for me it will be easy to communicate you all. Okay, guys, I assume everyone has given your details. Okay, so I'll end the meeting for today. Thanks for joining. So let us meet again today at the same time.